Soldiers of Reddit, what is something you wish you had known before joining the military? I wish I had known how important my hearing was. I've never been to prison, but I have to imagine that deployments are damn near close to it. Bored out of your own mind. Getting swole at the makeshift outside gym. Counting down the days. Surrounded by dudes. And every now and then, some arsehole tries to kill you. Should have done ROTC and finished up college instead of enlisting. I tell this to every person who has a kid or brother wanting to go in. Never listen though. Brush me off like I'm an idiot. Go to a 4-year college, join ROTC. Graduate as a lieutenant. Make 40k a year. By time you're 32 you'll be a line major making 100k a year. Or enlist and make 20-30k and hit a dead end. Edit. Apparently a lot of enlisted make more than 30k. I'm misinformed. Just seen the bad side with some friends who come back alcoholics. Broke living with their parents. Going to a tech school to build a new job path. Fellow women military people will back this up. See civilian gynecologists. All military people will back this one up. See civilian dentists. Know that when you join your life is owned by the government. It's fairly obvious, but when you actually experience it, it can be pretty surreal. Doesn't matter what you want, all that matters is what the government wants from you. My old man was terminally ill and trying to get home was a nightmare. If I had been a civilian I could have just quit. I have had a good career with the military. I'm releasing in the next few months because this has started to really bother me. The craziest thing was when I was threatened with an Article 15 for destruction of government property. When I got sunburn. Granted, it was a pretty bad burn. Fell asleep for hours in the sun, but I was shocked. Still don't know if it was just a threat. Edit. The whiskey at Fort Sam in Texas. Don't get that dumb skull with a beret tattoo. Most of sniper school involves a lot of math. There's nothing glamorous about being B4. Most of the time you're waiting around in the heat. It's nothing like the movies. All the people in books that say they can remember the faces of everyone they've shot are full of the big one. Not only can you not smoke, you can't use tobacco in any form. Good luck if you're another nicotine addict. I wish I had joined the Air Force. Sailor here. I too wish I joined the Air Force. Edit. Comma 5th. Don't be afraid to volunteer for cool missions and opportunities. Being able to control some aspects of your career feels pretty awesome. Search around. Go on forums. Check opportunities. Network. Etc. Okay. Volunteer for nothing. Especially if they are looking for volunteers for a course that on the surface sounds amazing. But when you look around you are the only one with your hand up and suddenly you are cleaning some for someone else. Okay. Wait, help. Accountability. If you're sick, you notify your fire team leader or squad leader. If you don't, not only do you get in trouble, you get their ass in trouble. Which in turn will get you in more trouble. In addition, save every bit of info you're given. Because it may one day save you ass. It could be a signature for an order. Acknowledging you're sick. Anything that would you might get questioned for doing something or not being somewhere. How very likely you are to get irrevocably hurt doing the things you do every day. That's how most people get hurt. In fact, for me it was PT. I've had a knee repair, a shoulder repair, stress fractures, a hideous staph infection. The list goes on. If you see combat, especially real combat, not a day of your life will go by from there on where you don't think about it. It will go away when you're busy or preoccupied. But when you're just sitting there, lost in your own thoughts, your mind will be back on the battlefield. It's draining. The dog and pony shows. The military is unrevealed at creating and fostering leadership. Unfortunately, most of the best leaders can do some basic math. realize how valuable they are in the civilian world, and hightail it out as soon as they can. On a more positive note, it still blows my mind that I am entrusted with the beating heart of $1 billion warship. And that drive the thing like you stole it is the normally encouraged mindset to have while doing so. I highly doubt that I will ever do something this cool once I get out. Edit. I forgot which subreddit I was on. To clear up any misconceptions, I'll just copy plus paste a reply from below. Ha. I'm just a filthy blue shit, junior enlisted. However, we're the ones who do the driving. The big shits topside just keep us up to date on the speed limit. How much it sucked digging holes in the forests during a storm. How to save money. That I would go to Iraq 3 times. Then 10 years later we see ISIS is in charge. What a lying waste of money and people's lives. If anybody tries to take the M&Ms that the MRE gods have so graciously bestowed upon you, you kick that motherer in his throat. A lot of posts about the other 4 branches of the U.S. Armed Forces, but no one mentioning the Coast Guard. Great duty stations. Great missions. Always operating in some capacity, weather search and rescue, law enforcement, pollution response, etc. 1. Save all documents you get. Do not count on the military to save your stuff because they will lose it. 2. Don't volunteer for even if it sounds cool. I made that mistake once. Thought it'd be great to get off base to deliver some vehicles a few hours away. Turns out someone picked the wrong vehicles and it turned out to be a 12+ hour day. 3. Call of Duty wasn't around when I joined, but so many folks joining the military think it will be like COD. It's not. You will clean terse dishes and after others. 4. Join an aviation unit. The most fun I had was in an aviation unit. Forget driving. We're flying. Pilots for the most part just want to fly and are pretty chill from my experience. That if you deploy there's a good chance your marriage will fail and your soul will leave you. 2 things. From a former 19 Delta Cav Scout. 1. Recruiter equals liar. If it's not in your contract you're ed. I damn near maxed out my ADSVAB and could have had any job I wanted. Similarly, I could have had choice of duty station and or airborne. My recruiter told me all of that would happen after basic. Half of my guys from basic got one or both. Those that didn't got lied to. The recruiters are under tremendous pressure to get you in. Your interests are secondary. 2. I grew up poor without healthcare. Every dentist I ever went to said that I badly needed braces. Every single army dentist orthodontist said that my teeth were fine and didn't need braces. Military medicine is not as good or comprehensive as civilian medicine. You get the minimum. I am glad I joined and served overall though. You can learn to live with PTSD. Much of the time, but no one can help you forgive yourself for who you've been. Or what you've done. Except yourself. When you're out, you can get help. But you have got to be the one that takes the opportunity. Help doesn't come in 12 ounces bottles or pint glasses. Remember. First, the bigger the military base you're at, the lower your standards just got. 10. 000 extra dudes means a girl you used to date is now out of your league. That one night stand is now girlfriend material and you don't want to know how far down you'll have to go for a one night now. Next, research the job. I recommend calling a private recruiter who specializes in placing ex-military and civilian jobs. They'll know the best jobs to go for. I'm an engineer, but my brother makes more than me based on his Navy nuke experience with no degree. The only pro skill I learned in the Army Guard is how to really kill people with rockets. There are a lot of basic things you should research before you join any branch. What job do you want to do and everything that it entails? Physically, mentally, and emotionally. How difficult can it be? What kind of benefits can you expect, as well as the hazards of your chosen enlistment? I was as familiar as I could be with these kind of things before enlisting. As far as what I wish I'd known, as light infantry. How and what to pack for field training, deployments, and missions. Eventually you learn. But some knowledge beforehand would have saved me a lot of trouble. I wish someone would have told me to get in shape before I joined. All that running sucks if you're not used to it. Edit. Also anxiety. Anxiety about passing a PT test. No matter how hard I train or work out. I feel like this one is kind of obvious. Like, do many people really join the military thinking any old chubby plonker can manage it? I wish I had looked up the postings for my AFSC. I would have learned before I came in that programmers all went to assignments like Goodfellow, Altus, Minute, Maxwell. I wouldn't have bothered putting things like Antarctica, England or Japan on my dream sheet. They call it a dream sheet for a reason, bro, because those places are a far off dream that will never come true. That I would have to kill the same people over and over again every night for the rest of my life. I'm retired, not active. And there are a lot of great things on here already. Let me just add what my Vietnam vet brother told me when I joined in 1975. Don't bitch about getting put on a detail like cutting grass or whatever. Half the time by the time you're done bitching you could have finished the detail. You're going to have to do it anyway. So all you're really doing is marking yourself as a whiner. I think the best outlook is to be kind of zen about it. Be open to what comes your way and make the best of it. The military can be a great lifestyle that way. If you got a college degree, join as an officer. Don't listen to the recruiter who will tell you if you join as an enlist first then go officer. People will respect you more. Their respect. And the recruiter. The Air Force has a core value of integrity first. Ironic that IA precisely what I had to give defending this country. War is ugly. Still no WMDs in Iraq BTW. That even if I didn't go into direct combat. Even if I picked the best, cushiest job I could. It would negatively impact me for the rest of my life. I wish I had just paid for college. How so? Got in to travel the world. Turns out I ended up in the same state. Me. You'll resent the people who thank you for your service. A lot of American-centric military advice in this thread. Which is cool. But to offer some more generic advice. If you look like you know what you're doing. People tend to assume you do know what you're doing. A lot of the time if you put on a determined expression. Look neat and under control. Speak confidently and seem no nonsense, you can get away with murder. If you go around your unit and get the job done and jump every now and then to help people out. You'll have such an easy time. I came back late from lunch once. My sergeant saw me coming in from the car park and called me over. Not to tell me off. But to talk about the weekend and have a laugh. About 15 seconds after this. A new guy who was overweight and had a Thai reputation came hustling through the car park. My sergeant told me to wait a second and charged out at the new guy and went bonkers at him. If you seem like a slob, they'll you over for everything. If you seem like you're all squared away, you'll get away with anything. Please. Please. Please don't go to University of Phoenix. Or any of those damn diploma mills. Go to a real college. You can do it. Stop doubting yourself. 3 of my siblings have worked as recruiters. They thought my kids might be thinking about the military. So they all gave the same advice. Whatever the recruiter tells you. Only pay attention to what you get in writing. Choose a military job with a real civilian equivalent. Aerial gunner sounds badass. But there isn't anything on the outside with an equivalent. Also, don't overestimate that a military job will lead to a good civilian job at the end either. For example, military police and city county police are very different and your military experience may not mean much to the hiring location. It can get a bit tricky trying to choose. But this is your life, so take some responsibility and choose wisely. Don't the first girl you see when you redeploy stateside. Your judgment isn't just lacking. It's straight up not there. Don't do it. Your desert goggles are still on. Don't goddamn do it. Keep your dick in your pants. Otherwise your dick'll fall off from the STDs or you'll be paying child support to a fat white trash for 18 years. I shoulder joined the chair force.